Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mariner of Spirit. I am Greg. I am your host, and tonight we have a special person in the ITC community who has been around for quite some time. He is a great guy. I consider him quite a friend. He's also a friend of KD's, Stafford's, and Jay Prather, and a whole bunch of different people. He does a great job at what he does. But before we start, I want to go ahead and say a few things that I normally go ahead and mention. Number one is the people that I support. And number one is Potographs with Tim Miley and his wife Lauren. And they do fundraisers, and their fundraiser money all goes to animal shelters and helping people like that in that realm. If I'm not making too much sense right now, it's because I've just been baffled for about 50 minutes trying to get this thing up and running. So it's been crazy. It's been a crazy time so far, but now I think we've got it running, and I've got Austin in the room. The second one that we support is PKC, Paranormal Kicks Cancer, with Chris Gaskowski and Alex Wilkinson. And there are two people that I met quite a while ago now from down in Florida. They do an awesome job, the same kind of thing. They do a lot of fundraisers, and all their money goes to cancer research. So without going ahead and really getting into what they do is they go ahead and they do haunted houses, and then they'll do haunted locations, and all the money that they make off of those events will all go to cancer research. So, and then the only other thing that I really have to mention is the authors that I support. And we got Bruce Holliday, Tobias Wayland, Adam Benedict, Kathy Kressel, Barnaby Jones, Sherilyn Cotter, Dr. Heatherly Langdon, Lynn Monet, Ron Iacovetti, Victoria Munday, Tony Rathman, Natalie Jones, Patty Negri, Sylvia Schultz, Amelia Cotter, Rex Nielsen, David Sloan, Christina Bloom, D.A. Weissong, Joseph Allop, and we have Dr. Rebecca Foster. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Austin in because I have to. Hey, Austin, how you doing?
Good. You didn't have to if you didn't want to. You know, I could have just. I was just chilling, listening, man.
No. It's time. After working through all that to try to get this thing. I don't know what the heck happened.
Maybe
But
bad weather. I don't know what kind of internet you got. Like if you got satellite internet like me, it may have problems because you're over near Chicago, right? You're gonna
yeah,
be hitting that snowstorm. That snowstorm's gonna come on you guys pretty quick, if I'm not
well,
mistaken, because we're gonna be getting it at around 7 a.m. tomorrow.
we're like up by the Wisconsin border. So
Yeah, you
we're
guys
like
should be getting
40,
it.
45 miles away from Chicago.
Oh, okay.
So,
I mean, you're
so
still getting it.
yeah, I know.
That entire, it's like covering the entire like greater Great Lakes region.
So I just want to say, hey, that was a great win today. It was awesome, awesome, awesome.
Right. 9-3, baby.
Yep.
Let's go.
We got my hat's on, but that's all I have on tonight. But
The one thing I'm
anyway,
gonna say is that Caleb Williams is god awful accurate. He is horrible, like horrible with the accuracy, man. He's got to clean that up. I don't know what it is, but he has to clean it up.
it's his arm. It's a release. He's doing something with the ball because he goes perfect, and then he could even lob like that one he threw to what's his
Matt,
name, Clement in the end zone. You know that thing was perfect.
it is weird because it seems that he delivers the right throw right when we need it. But in those times where he has a clean pocket, easy layup throws, he just misses them horribly. But I don't know how much the wind played a factor over there today because the winds were like 30 miles an hour, apparently. They were like gusts coming in.
So that could have
That's,
blown the ball right out of the way half the time.
there was one pass that Jalen Hurts had that everybody, even the announcers, thought got tipped. Do you remember this? It was towards the beginning of the game, but it wasn't tipped. It was just the wind just blew back on the ball so bad it just spun short. It's just like, dang, man, that's crazy.
So how you been doing?
Man, I'm getting through, getting by. Just trying to stay busy. Well, I mean, I don't have to try really. I'm always busy. I always have things I'm working on. But other than that, things are good, man.
You've been
Yeah.
doing a lot on your own, and you've been working with Jay a lot too.
It's actually like 60-40 JW stuff. But it's more or less because we produce a lot more of the IDC devices than we do. Like my projects typically tend to be custom, and so they take a little bit longer. You know what I mean? So it's not something that I can like just bust out a bunch of them in a day. Whereas with JW stuff, sometimes I need to do that, and it just depends, but it's a lot. I would say it's actually probably more than 60-40. It might even be closer to 75-25. But I'm okay with it, man. It's a good problem for us to have. I'm happy people are getting the devices,
that's good. I just been waiting at the right time. I don't know what time that's going to be, but I have allegiances too, just like everybody else does, and you try to go ahead and I have quite a bit of KD stuff, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I have a straight SB7, and I got a Pro, and that's the only other devices I have that aren't from the Stafford. So Supernatural.
Well, I know you claim allegiance like that, and I mean, I'm sure that I know KD and Cat appreciate that for sure. But when you talk about ITC community, and KD and I have always bumped heads about this part, is that like with the ITC community, I feel like there's just I mean, I think he's come around more to it in these last few years at least, but there's a lot more options to ITC. Like KD has a very specific style that he goes with, and we love KD's style. It's his sweep circuit, the way his waveform is fucking unique. He does it the same because you know, and you appreciate everything that KD does, but you know, KD's not the only one, you know, and not that he doesn't, you know, I don't want to, I'm a guy that likes variety, right? Like I'll use everybody else's devices. I don't even use my own stuff.
Now, the only reason I really said that was because of the fact that, you know, way back in the very beginning for me at one of the Chicago Paracons, and this goes way back, you know, they were there, and he built the box for Cheryl Lynn Cotter that looked a lot like a Frank's box.
I remember that box because he brought it
And
to my event too, and that's where Cheryl picked it up.
because she was there with me because I knew her from, you know, quite a bit before that. She's always been a fantastic girl, and she had a lot of things that were going on, and you know, I liked her as an author, and now she's expounded, has gone beyond, expanded above and beyond with the skinwalkers and all that stuff out west. So
Yeah,
that brings a whole different flair of what we do into it too.
mm-hmm.
You know, we're just
Well,
not.
it's all one existence, man. It's multiple realities on one plane of existence in some senses. I guess you could say it that way, but you could also say it's multiple realities along the same plane of existence. I don't know. I have different theories about it.
Multi-dimensional.
Yes, people use the word dimensional, but like when you when you're into science and everything, dimensions is usually spatial, or you get into string theory. But when you talk about parallel realities, kind of thing, is what we typically refer to. Right?
It's a little bigger, right?
Yeah. Well, a parallel reality is just like a parallel. It's another world like that is on the same timeline existence as us, but
Okay.
it's like what people think about the bubble universe theory, right? Like in
Yes.
bubble cross, like that. Like we're in the same like timeline and in existence at the same moment in time, but just two completely different realities.
Well, today you've been doing quite a bit, like I said earlier, with Jay and that, and I know that you know, for the, if you want to go ahead and start out by going ahead and letting everybody know about your not your projects, but you know, you do about 4 or 5 events a year, right? Were you doing 4 or 5 events where you did the different hauntings?
I
And
mean,
you
I
would
have
have
5 locations in Ohio
okay,
that I
okay,
manage. Yeah,
okay,
I run the Underground Paranormal Network based out of
okay.
Ohio. We have 5 historic locations that we opened up for ghost tours. We work closely with the owners. All the the money goes back towards restoration, preservation efforts, all that good stuff. Um, and they're kind of scattered throughout Ohio. So there's the Father John's and the Father John's Microbrewery and the Bryan Jail are in Bryan, Ohio. Auglays Village Museum in Defiance, the old Middle Point School in Middle Point, Ohio, and then the Felicity is the Broadwell Funeral Home.
So those have been the ones that you've had for quite some time now, right?
Yeah, we've had all 5 of those since 20. We got the funeral home, I believe, in 2021 or 2022. I want to say 21. It was during the pandemic. So yeah. But I started it in 2018. So I mean, we've been around for 7 years now.
Yeah, you have a lot of people that come out there to visit anyway, right?
I mean, we have our location. We actually have at least one booking a weekend between all 5 locations. Sometimes we have 5 bookings at once. we've had that happen on the, some of the busier months, especially over the summer. It just varies. In the colder months, we'd be lucky to get one, maybe two down at the funeral home or something. But it just depends. We stay pretty busy though between all five. Yeah.
So then if you want to explain to everybody about how you do your work, your custom work, is it just per what the person wants, or do you start out with a concept and then just put it out there that you have something that's going to be available?
Well, it really depends. I mean, I do the custom work for anybody that comes to me and asks me for something specific. If they have an idea and I think I can do it, I'll give it a try. Sometimes I can't make guarantees that I'll be able to make it work, but I will still be able to build them something really cool or something along the lines, right? And I love the challenges. So that's the kind of stuff that keeps my fire going. And even I had to tell that to JW too, because if I were to just do all IDC devices, just the same thing all the time, I would probably get burnt out real quick. But I do occasionally. It's been rare lately that I've had enough time to be able to build like extra stuff. I have one box that I have built right now that I have available. I just like it's glue's drying on it, so I'm not gonna like show it, but I'm gonna be posting that up for sale tomorrow probably.
You want to give a description of what it is exactly and what it does?
I mean, it's just a AM FM. Well, actually, no, it's a AM FM and then shortwave 1 and 2 ghost box and an old realistic. I think that's the brand, realistic radio. It's like a tabletop radio. It's nothing special. It's not going to be expensive either. I'm probably only going to put it out there for like $150, $200, something like that. But it's got the little light that lights up inside that is original to the radio and all that stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that used to be around a long time ago, and your work is I really like every time I see something and I want to be tempted to go ahead and buy it. But with everything that goes on with what I do, it's hard to go ahead and start to go ahead and stretch your way out so far that you can't get back. That's no good either.
And when you say, well, even when you talk about like, you talk about the allegiance to KD. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of what you see is KD inspired. So like a lot of what I do, any kind of the artistic stuff. I mean, I get a lot of inspiration, and KD taught me so much. So I mean, he still teaches me. I mean, I feel like he's been pretty busy with the PTF. Because he took over that, so I haven't really talked to him in a month or so. But
that's a paranormal task force.
Yeah, he's because Greg is handing him the keys to that, basically, right? So I know he's got a lot on his plate right now.
Yeah, it's been going really crazy like that. So
that's great, man. I'm happy for him. I really am.
I think he deserves it.
Him and Kat are going to do a hell of a job. I think they will.
It should be great. And you got a comment already from Carol Garcia, who's in a group with me, and she says, "I love the candle that you made, Austin."
Thank you.
I was with Becky on a cemetery here in New Jersey, and it worked great there.
Oh, awesome. Becky Evans, I think. Yeah, she does own a candle of mine. I'm glad I want to know. I hope they got video of that. Becky was saying that they got some really good interaction with the candle, but I want to see some video. I've yet to see. I've heard people actually tell me that they got interaction with it, but like, come on, guys, everybody, I want to see some video. Let's go. I'm excited. I want to see it.
she may be on here, and then later on we usually get together, and then it was like, yes, Becky Evans, she says.
Yeah, I gotta bug Becky about that.
Well, like I said, we'll be seeing her later on tonight. Usually, she's part of
There you
a
go.
psychic night group
Oh, okay.
that we belong to. So we
Okay.
get together and chat and do card readings and stuff like that to keep us
All right.
on the up and
Carol, if Greg forgets, make sure you bring it up.
up. We, oh boy, when what is going on with Nick Roth?
Well, they just him and Tessa just signed a deal with it's called Brandon TV. It's a company. It's some network out in LA. And they've been doing some stuff with them. So they got done filming season 5 of Deathwalker, and yeah, that's what they're doing right now.
Okay,
They're living their best life, man. It's awesome.
that's great for them.
It really is.
Are you still
Um,
working with them?
no. They
No?
I was only on Deathwalker, so then they've basically put Deathwalker on hold, which is, I ain't upset with them for that. I would do the same thing. I mean, they got a great opportunity out there, and really with season 5, they started kind of gearing more towards doing just like the husband wife duo thing, and they really do make a great team. So and I was only really there for equipment and experiments, you know what I mean? So like I wasn't really like the main cast of the show, so I wasn't expecting, honestly, the fact that they put me on 11 episodes on camera for season 4 was kind of, like I didn't even expect that, so I'm not upset about it. I think that it's great for them, and I'm appreciative of the fact that I even got the opportunity to work with them.
That one location, wasn't that Tesla's old, or
Yeah, the Adams Transformer House in
Yeah.
Niagara Falls. Yep. Yeah, that was a cool place.
Yes, it was,
Man.
it was really cool watch.
So me and Steve actually, before the investigation, like they talked about those underground.
So you're talking about Steve Halty.
Halte. Yeah.
Okay.
So because he was out there with us, right? So in the episode, they talk about these discharge tunnels that they had underneath the transformer house the water would run through to discharge the electricity, right? And apparently there were hundreds of workers down there. I guess there were a number that perished. I don't know how many the number is exactly, but I know a number of them died during either during construction or at some accident or something. But me and Steve went down there, and I mean, these tunnels are probably only 4 foot high at the most. And so me and him are like ducking down. We're like going down probably a quarter mile back back in the tunnels out to the end of the street where that first block is. And we look up, we can see like the street. So we can see everything, crosswalk lights and everything. And we started doing an EVP session out there. And I mean, we started getting some crazy responses out there, but that was really cool. Me and him just did that, the two of us, before we started filming for the day, like as we were setting up the experiment. So that was a cool place, man.
That was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Becky Evans is in the room right now.
Becky, I need videos. Because apparently she's not, I believe she's had success with it more than once. If I'm not mistaken, Becky.
Yeah, she says the static candle you made.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got any video, I think Carol was going to go ahead and check to see what she had, because they were investigating together.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Heck yeah, I want to see it because I want to post some of that. Granted, I'm not really making that version of the candle anymore, and I haven't really had anybody ask for one, so I just haven't built any.
So it operates off of static electricity?
No, it actually operates off of capacitive resistance in the environment. So it works off of transistors, and it's a what they call a JFET effect, which is a field effect transistor. Basically meaning that the environment, it calibrates to the environment and can be affected on like a quantum level. It's like the tiny particles, it can be affected really easily. And so when the longer you let these transistors sit and just like sit dormant, the stronger the field will grow. And like at a certain point, you could actually like, if you have an antenna that's like 3 foot high, you put it in the middle of a 20 foot by 20 foot room, like you walk through that threshold, it's gonna react to you. It's super sensitive, man.
That is really something. I thought
I've posted videos too of me walking around with it like I'm holding a candle, and it's flickering as I'm walking around. It's pretty cool.
That's really neat.
Mm-hmm.
They refused to touch illumination station. They said no.
Yeah.
That was from Becky.
Yeah, Becky said that she hasn't had any success with that yet. But I've had a lot of people have some crazy success with it. I've had some good success with it.
But she's up east now.
Yeah, she moved up to New Jersey. I think
that's where Carol's at.
Yeah, and she's talking about possibly doing the travelers experiments with us at the Shanley in June.
You're going to be at the Shanley
in June. God, I want to say 6th through 12th, something like that. And then we're going to be at the Western Block in Niagara Falls, September. I want to say like it's the second week of September. It's like the 6th through the 13th or something. Like she's giving us some extra time though. Because Heather and Frank are awesome, dude. And have you seen Western Block? It's a massive place, dude. And we filmed an episode there for Deathwalker, and it was, man, you get lost in that building, and it's super active too.
That's really crazy. I know. She says they were being buttheads that night.
Yeah, spirits are buttheads sometimes. And there's nothing you can do about it. And they know that.
So when you got involved with Jay, what was your first reaction as far as how did you feel about the piece of equipment right off the bat? And that's the IDC device, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I first started talking to JW back in 2019, I want to say. It was 2018 that we first started talking. And I first met him in 2019 when he came out to Father John's for an event that we did with the Wraith Chasers. It was actually him and KD came out. Brendan Black came out. It was some other dude. Yeah, there was a few people, but the Wraith Chaser boys were all there. And so that was, I mean, I first got turned on to Jay by, I want to say David Woolworth. Maybe he owned a store called, like, it was a paranormal shop for a little while, and he built these little, like, jewelry box looking portals on, I don't know, it was a long time ago.
There's two Woolworths. There's Tim Woolworth.
Yeah, no, David.
I
believe.
Are they related?
I may actually be wrong on that name. I can't remember the dude's name because he kind of disappeared out of the field, but he owned it was like a paranormal shop, online store, and he made some equipment, but he was selling one of JW's black boxes, one of the original black boxes. They were selling them on a site, and he got me in touch with him, and what turned me on to JW's device was that it was random scan. That's the first thing, and that's like the one thing that like really brought me to it. And ever since then, it was kind of like crazy because all of the theories that he has, a lot of it makes sense, and some of it took me a little longer to learn or to see where he was coming from with certain things. But I do actually kind of understand what he's saying now. So, like, he had always talked about how photons are, photons are like their information. They carry information, and I, for a long time, was arguing no, photons are light particles. That's what they're light. Yeah, they're light particles. That's what photons are. Little did I know, or my stupid self, I didn't actually do the research. I look it up, and actually, photons are like the fundamental particles of everything. Like, so it's not they're more than just light. It's like literally everything in the universe is photons.
So how are you spelling that? It's not protons.
No, photons. PHOTONS.
Okay. Just
Like,
so everybody understands that.
Yeah, they're typically associated associated with light particles. Like, that's what photons are. But like, when you actually break it down, photons are they are the fundamental particles that allow everything in the universe to exist. Like, without photons, nothing is there. So, that kind of took me a long time. Even just that basic things, it took me a lot longer to really comprehend that. But it wasn't necessarily that I just didn't do the research. It was more or less like the way he was explaining it to me it made sense, but it also, I didn't understand that radio waves were photons. You know what I mean? I thought that was two separate things. But then you start getting into the travelers experiments. You start getting into all going back to the ITC devices. The devices beyond the random scan, it's the experimentation capabilities that are really like what really sold me on it too. Just because you can actually record on multiple places on the device while it's doing the random scan. And the more I got to talking to him, the more that I learned. Well, another thing I learned was that he discovered something that we call a DAV, a direct applied voice. And a direct applied voice we discovered it's a voice that is applied to a ghost box that did not come from the tuner. And the way that
it didn't come from what?
The tuner, the radio tuner inside the ghost box or the communication device. It didn't come from the audio source. It was applied outside of the audio source. Now, a lot of people know of direct radio voice, which is when you put it on a dead radio station and you hear a voice come through that was, it's outside of the normal radio frequencies. It just kind of came in that radio frequency. Well, a direct applied voice applies to both static and scanning stations. So and the way we discovered them was that with echo and reverb, the audio will travel. I mean, circuitry does not skip steps. Like, the path of of an electrical signal in circuitry doesn't jump circuits. It doesn't skip stuff. It follows a direct path that is laid out for it. And so when we're getting voices that, I guess to set it up, the way that the devices work, it has the radio tuner, goes into the echo reverb, amplifier, speaker, in that order. So in that sense, everything that comes out of the speaker should have echo and reverb, right?
Yes.
Because it goes directly from the audio source to the echo reverb board. So when we get voices coming through the speaker that do not have echo and reverb, while the voices before and after that response, that 2 or 3 words that came in, both of those echoed, but that one in between there, that didn't echo. Why not?
So it's
Why not?
like a hitchhiker.
It's almost like that voice was imprinted after the echo board. We don't know how, we don't know where, but we are finding them. I don't want to say fairly frequently, but I seem to come across one every time I go out on a hunt. But that doesn't necessarily, but that's, again, this is where a lot of the research will need to come back into play here, because we don't know if it's possible that, you know, a random AM station is being picked up on the electronics, right? Sorry, it's really dry here. Excuse me. And so, like, there's a lot of things like that we worry about. I know that over in Wisconsin, actually, I work with Stephen Kayla Gregory and the ones who run Jericho, the Haunted Trinity out there. You know, they have a very strong radio station right in town. It's like 107.1 or something out there. And anytime they use one of the IDC devices, well, not every time, but some of the new ones, they've actually been able to pick up that FM station while the device is still properly running. The AM is, or the FM station is just coming through constantly through, because the internals are acting as an antenna. And if that radio tower is right there, I mean, some of that stuff we have to like look into to make sure that we're not getting false positives from that kind of thing, you know. But we have had some instances where it just doesn't really make sense, you know. And we continue to look into them. But that's why I love with a direct link, you know, with one of the FXMs or the FXWC, one of the higher models. It actually gives you the ability to record directly from the tuner. And then, so you get the raw audio from the source, right? And then you can plug in right after the echo board. And then you can plug in again after the amplifier. So you can actually plug in recorders to 3 separate spots simultaneously. And if everything is working as it should, then you should hear the same thing on all 3. Granted, the second and third one will have the echo effect, but everything that you hear in the first one should come through on the second and third one as well.
Right.
There should not be any extra voices on the second and third recorder, but yet we're finding some. So it doesn't make sense. And that's what, you know, this is why it's no longer a ghost box. We don't consider it a ghost box or a spirit box. It is a communication device. It is an experimental communication device. And I mean, it's just, it's crazy. I mean, when I say that I've actually, once you find them and once you hear them the first time, you start hearing them all the time. And you have to I have to check myself sometimes, like, okay, was that really a DAV, or was it like other radio stations, radio towers nearby, right?
Do you think you would be able to pick those up too on a straight ghost box?
Yeah, if it's on like I mean, if a normal ghost box, if it has AM on it, then yeah, you should be able to pick up any normal AM channel, or on FM, you should be able to do that. But with the direct links and with IDC devices, you know, it's only FM.
Right.
Granted, it's 3,500 frequencies on FM, but you should not be getting AM, right? But yet somehow, sometimes in the right areas, with the right positioning, all the wires and the parts inside will act as an antenna and pick up rogue AM signals. It's weird. But like, there's actually some of the older digital recorders, if you may remember, some of those older digital recorders, you could plug in a cable to them and that cable would pick up AM stations, and you'd just be hearing AM stations in your recorder.
Right.
Like JW has a number of recordings. He's like, it's
What do you think
a
of
lot
the
of people
old?
don't realize that. What'd you say?
What do you think of the old Sony Walkman? What do you think of the old Sony Walkman?
I like the Walkmans. I actually have a ghost box. I have a box built by William Pemblott, Doug, that is made from a Sony Walkman. I have tried to hack a Sony Walkman, and I'm going to attempt to try it again soon. I have to get one because I love the way they sound, man. They sound beautiful. They really do. That's one of my favorite
I had two
sounds.
of them. I can't find them. I cannot find them. I used them when I was working.
Wow.
I just used them to listen to the radio, and then I would, play cassettes. And then it was like, boy, if I could find one and have it reworked, that would be.
Yeah, there's some that you can actually even hack, apparently. Like you can actually just snip a wire but the ones that I've worked with, there's actually like a pin on the inside, a VT pin that I can connect a sweep circuit directly to. So it's just a matter of getting the voltage right, because on those Walkmans, the range of the voltage for the radio is a lot wider than on the modern radio tuners. So it's like a little bit more of a calibration thing, but like KD's sweep circuit works perfect with it. My sweep circuit, I got to do a lot more like fucking with it,
Do you think it was because there were a lot of people that used those inside? Like in buildings and things like that back in the day?
Why they sound better, you think? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just wondering if they would be that receptive because of that.
I think it's different technology. I mean, it is. I mean, you look at, I tear apart these radios all the time, man. Like, and you can tell, like, some of we went from tubes, the vacuum tube radios, that you needed to plug in and turn on and let it sit for like 2 minutes before it would heat up. And then finally the sound would come on. But then you got the transistors that were created. And so then you got much smaller radio circuits, but they now have these white, like weird tuner things on them that like you can't tap into at all. Well, you can, it's just really difficult. But then, and over time it's just become, they've gone from higher voltage circuitry with the tubes, and it was still pretty high voltage with the early transistor models. But now with the new stuff, it's very low voltage, like 3 volts or less usually. So
I'm really interested in securing a reverse sweep one from
KD.
Well,
or from Altair. If you can get one from Altair right now. I don't know, man. They've kind of stepped out of the game. I know Katie's playing around with that like AI hallucinations or something. It's really interesting. She like gives it a topic and it just like goes on a rant or something. It's kind of crazy.
That's what makes life interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that happen when we do Wednesday nights, and you're more than welcome if you want to throw on and do an Estes session. Just get a set of headphones and a pair of blinders and join in, and we could, you'd be teamed up with somebody, one of the other members or whatever. And I've been doing this
before.
You were with us?
One time I did it. I don't know. That was just kind of weird for me, man. I was just sitting in my house just with some headphones on and just yelling out.
You were at the house.
Yeah, no, I was just sitting here in the house. I had some the soundproof headphones on, and I was just listening to the Ghost Box. And yeah, I don't know. It's weird because I'm like in my house. alone.
We've had some real wild things happening. And,
Oh,
you
yeah?
know, the distance thing, you know, because we have people all the way from Texas.
Mm.
And I have people from Arkansas. And then I have, you know, where Carol and Becky are now up on the East Coast. And, you know, I'm basically in the Midwest.
Mm.
And
Me
there's
too.
probably about 2 or 3 other people that are involved that are here too. But, you know, it's like, there's no reason why we couldn't expand that way and add another person that really has an expertise at what's going on. You know what I mean? Because, you know, we sit there and we'll hear something that doesn't belong in there. Okay.
Mm.
And then when we pick that up, then it's mentioned later on after we get done with the session, and everything's recorded so we can play it all back, and we get EVPs.
Are you guys using so I forget the way that if I'm correct, the way that I did it when you guys did it before was that we used like a Nanocom S or something, and I just plugged into that and did it while we were on the live, right?
We try, because of the way when the Estes started, and I'm not talking about the double blind ghost box. I'm saying the Estes method out at the Stanley Hotel.
Mm.
You know, they had a actual page that they had written up that showed, you know, they wanted drummer headphones, so the
Completely soundproof.
this one, the
Mhm.
Vic Firth,
Yeah,
those
the ones you would
headphones,
find at the record store way back in the day, like
and
back in the 80s.
you can do goggles. We've been playing with those. I'm trying to think of them now. It's the red ones that flash off and on.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Delco, the
yeah,
Delcos.
yeah. They have the Lumen headband or eye masks that do that. They have the I don't know if it's Lumen or if it's something else. Noom or Loom or something. It's just the eye mask that have the 3 red dots on the inside, but they're actually like really low level red dots. Like it's supposed to be just low enough to keep you from falling asleep, come into the REM state, right?
I
Like that's
heard
what they're for. But like with that, you would want more like sensory deprivation, I would think, with the Estes, right?
yes, that's exactly what it is. But it
So
gives
then
you a
really it's more
different
blindfold
way.
and soundproof headphones. Right?
It just changes it, like changes it a little
But
bit.
yeah, I mean,
So
you're way more in tune with your senses when you have your other senses cut off. Or like, you know how they say, like, if you become blind, your other senses heighten. So like if you cut off your eyesight, and your hearing is supposed to be more sensitive, so you should be able to hear things better, I guess. I would think it
so
eliminates distractions too, because you're not seeing anything.
what is it? Carol says I had on the Delco glasses, and I was see frog hands in my view. We captured 4 EVPs of frog sounds on the show.
Hmm.
And that
Wow.
was, I remember that when that happened. There was a bunch of stuff that happened, but
See, I think
crazy
it would
stuff.
be good if you guys were able to do like one audio source somehow synced and spread out between the multiple participants in it. Then that would be more interesting because you could see they should say the same thing, or like they should be getting the same exact audio on all 3 ends. But then when you find something different, that's when it's interesting.
Well, we all have basically gone to the SB7s. If we don't go to the SB7s, it seems to throw another curve into it.
What you
I
could
don't.
do is have a secondary program or something where you can have audio that you can add into the stream, and then some, or maybe not even add into the stream, but somehow be able to let those participants connect into that audio remotely. They just plug, it'll just play over there. Like you could from the control end switch it from from the show audio to the Ghostbox audio or whatever. And so the participants are only hearing the live audio that you're playing through on your end, which would then, give you that availability. That would take some work, though. That would take some figuring out how to do all that. But that's how I would imagine you could.
Well,
I'm sure there's a way. If you got somebody that knows how to work those programs, like there's definitely a way you could do that where you could like isolate audio for different people.
we all, I always went with gut reactions, and as far as the voices were concerned, and I did a lot of single work by myself, and I'd have somebody that was with me that would film and do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just to show what was being done or being said, because it was still on the infantile stages. And I know that when we brought up the Delco, it was because of the fact of what happened with the Newkirks, because they were back in the day when they were using their God helmet. The next day, Dana would go ahead and she would use a pair of blinders, and they were halves of ping pong balls that were painted red.
Yep.
And she would use those.
Mm-hmm.
So these are so much far advanced because you can get them to flicker or stay solid. And I'll tell you what, after watching that for about 10 minutes, it's like you don't even know where the hell you are anymore. Literally.
Yeah, that's about that's kind of sounds like some of what we do with the travelers experiments. Granted, we don't use the REM, we don't use any of those lucid dreaming like the lights or the masks or whatever. We just have regular face masks.
Do you think that when this is being done, that it actually gives spirit the opportunity to communicate more with you?
I think if anything, it puts our consciousness into a plane that they're able to access also.
That's higher.
Yeah, it may not be exactly like we're going to their realm, but like maybe there's like a middle realm, a middle ground, right? What they call purgatory or whatever. It's just that dead ground, almost like, because I think of the movie Insidious, and when they go into the further, and so it's like it's very localized, and they can see the house and they can see wherever they're trying to go, but there's also just complete darkness and dead bodies grabbing at you and stuff, right? That's kind of what I imagined would be going on, but I have been unable to experience it myself yet, so I don't know. I'm taking everybody else's word for it.
Do you know somebody that's done that?
Yeah. Jamie Keller came and did it.
Jamie Lynn?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did it. Gwen and Rez did it.
Okay.
We had Amy Schaefer. We've had I'm trying to Pat Haberman, Stephen Kayla, Gregory. We had Mike and Chris and Brandon from Wraith Chasers do it. We had Matthew Jackson did it. Rex and Scott did it. God damn, we've had a lot of people do it. I'm missing somebody. Kathy Powell did it. I've done it once, and I had trouble with it because my mind was racing like crazy the whole time, trying to like get myself in tune with the audio, but I can't like clear my mind that well.
Do you use any meditations before you do any of that?
No, there's actually like meditation. It's like all built in. Like the frequencies are supposed to be able to artificially induce that.
Okay, so like the 432, whatever it is.
Actually, so the whole goal is to achieve hemisync right from the get-go, like syncing the left and the right sides of your brain. And we do that by doing a 4 to 7 hertz binaural beats.
Okay, 47?
No, 4 to 7. So
4
you
to
got
7.
4 on one side, 7 on the other.
Okay,
And
what
it synchronizes your two at 5.5.
now? The other ones that we've been looking at are the ones that were the 432.
Mhm.
And then there's another one that I think is a little higher than that.
Mhm. Well, so the 4 to 7 hertz frequencies, so they're actually being mixed in. There's an audio track that plays while they're laying there, but in the underlying audio track, like almost, it's like subliminal almost, it's the 4 to 7 hertz are playing in the background, and it's well below, it's in the infrasound range. So, I mean, you're not really going to be able to hear it on the headphones, but it's there. Granted, when we also have Catalyst audio that JW puts together, and it's actually a number of different frequencies. He even has he has the Salvagio frequencies that go in there at different times. He's got pretty sure he's got, I mean, what, dude, he's got a number of them that play at different points throughout the experiment. And the experiments are like 45 minutes long sometimes. Wow. So, yeah, like they'll be sitting in their cots or laying in their cots in a star formation, specifically positioned based on different. I mean, there's a lot of different things that go into it: numerology, astrology, astronomy. It's also sacred geometry. Ritualistic, like ancient ritualistic practices, frequencies, and rhythmic, that kind of stuff. All of it goes into this experiment kind of all at once. And so the whole intention is that we get people to, like, there's actually 2 different experiments. One is called the hyper realm, which is supposed to be that localized, like we hope that we can get them, induce them into that state while the catalyst. So you got the environment being conditioned, right? And then you got the participants that are getting lost in the audio. And this is supposed to help them get into a state of mind where they can just kind of travel. But the hyper realm is like keeping them local, where that's where I like mentioned Insidious, it's like right there. Not that scary though, apparently. Well, some people apparently have done it and had bad experiences, so I can't say that. So, but there's also the World Gate. Now, the World Gate is a part of it is like called the Peregrine Experience. Like, actually, that's the main part. The Peregrine Experience is named after the Peregrine Falcon, because it's able to fly like the furthest distance without stopping or something.
Without flapping his wings.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, and the whole idea is that the Peregrine Experience is that once you cross over onto that other side and you are able to complete the tasks that are given to you, essentially, before you, like, once you go under, there's tasks that are given to you that you have to try to figure out if you're able to control your experience. And so part of one of those tasks is trying to open a gateway, open a doorway, and then hold it open for as long as they can. And so all 6 participants at once have to imagine a doorway in their head, and like it's a lot about synchronization, and all of it all at once happening with the intention of it being opened. And then there's a frequency drop that happens. It actually sounds like a bass drop an EDM concert or something. Like when it drops, you hear it and you feel it in your chest because it's that infrasound. Things hit the fan. Shit hits the fan sometimes with that, man. It's like we've had, so Mike G from the Wraith Chasers, no matter how you feel about him, Mike was in the center of the 5-point star with the centerpiece, the star. Sorry, I got something in my throat, I feel like. But when we did a World Gate experiment during that filming of the first Travelers, and he, in the middle of the experiment, or right when the World Gate frequencies dropped, he jerked up out of his cot and said that he felt like he was either going to puke or piss. Didn't know which one, but he needed to get up and get out of there. And he said he was feeling some weird, like it was a weird feeling, and he did not like it. But we got him back into his seat before the experiment ended, so that it didn't like fuck up the other, you know what I mean? But just like it is a very different kind of experiment, man, and it is intense. Even just being around it is kind of a crazy feeling, just watching and seeing how it all like it affects them, it affects you. It's crazy.
Does it affect the people that are observing as much as it does the participants?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Yeah, like I mean, if you're in the area, like I've even done some live streams. There's been a couple of times where I went live on my Facebook page while an experiment was happening. Just kind of like showing and walking around. And yeah, I mean, if you're in the area and you can hear those frequencies playing, the catalyst frequencies, I mean, you're feeling it, dude. Like it can affect you, not just like, it'll affect you physically, and that's what it's meant to do, though.
Wow, that's what's been going on for the last month and a half here.
Yeah,
I mean, just with, I think, with the those sun flares and that.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing, man. That's like crazy magnetic energy just being pounded into our radiation, just being pounded into our atmosphere. And not just, I mean, we have a very exposed, vulnerable magnetic spot somewhere. I think it's that what is it? The South Atlantic anomaly?
Yeah.
That's that weak spot right now that they're really worried about.
Crazy. But
if a sun flare hits the South Atlantic anomaly, I think like we're freaking cooked. Like we'd be done if that were to happen. Granted, it's an astronomically high number. Like we have very low chance. Like it's a very, very low chance of that actually happening, but it's not zero.
What do you think about Atlas?
I don't know what to think. I think that NASA has been in all kinds of the science. Like I think that there are higher ups that are blocking. I mean, even Michio Kaku was ranting and raving about how all of the observatories seem to just go down right as 3i Atlas was making its closest approach to the sun or to Jupiter or something, and it's like just all of a sudden that that seemed to be a weird timing, huh?
And not to change the subject, but as long as we were there, And before we stop, you have a box there that's from JW?
Yeah. This is one of the very few intercom system satellite speakers that we have turned into direct link Reapers. Now, this is a direct link. It's got the 3500 frequencies, random scan with all the different in and outputs, input output jacks, and the two headphone jacks for the Estes method. It would give you the ability to do at least a dual Estes method if you wanted to. But the Reaper circuit gives you 100 different effects to choose from, as well as a microphone, so that your voice and their voice, in theory, come through the same physical medium speaker. But just like with every direct link, this is not the direct link. You are the direct link. This is just the speaker or the device. You are the direct link to the other side. That's kind of the whole thing.
Okay, so those are, how expensive are those?
Well, this specific model, sorry, I'm really not a good spokesperson at 9 p.m. Well, it's actually like 11 here. But, so these are, there's only 4 of these left. There were only 5 of them that went around. And these are like they've been to a number of different houses, like the Conjuring House, Lizzie Borden House, Randolph County Infirmary. But they were used in the experiments, the initial WorldGate Travelers experiments before I joined on. And so there's only 5 of these, and we have one sold that was our Diana Atkinson bought it. This is number 2. These are actually at $525, but we have different model, lower price models. If you go on idcdevices.com, I mean, we have all very different model. Like, man, he's lowered the prices dramatically too. Like, he brought them down. I mean, all of our devices used to be very high price, and he got it down. I think we got one device as low as like an ITC device as low as like $115 or $120 for the first contact, but then goes up to the FXM, which is like $470. 2K boxes it can get really complicated with the devices and the features and everything, but we have a wide selection.
Now, with something like that, though, you would need somebody else that had one of those before you could go ahead and use them. No,
you wouldn't need somebody else to have one. I mean, if you got one,
no,
then
you're yourself. I understand that part.
Okay, well, what are you asking?
But like, if you were going to do an Estes, you would just use that on your end.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're going to do an Estes, I mean, the Estes requires 2 people. You got to have one person listening, one person asking, and but I mean, yeah, this thing, it's got a headphone jack here. This headphone jack will cut out the speaker, but you have this second headphone jack right here that will still allow audio to come out, so you can have another person listening at the same time.
Okay.
So you can actually have 2 people listening to the same audio from this at the same time, but the speaker's still cut out.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. We got, it's already almost an hour and 15 minutes already. It's like we just sat down and started talking.
Yeah, it seems to happen that way, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I'll let everybody keep in touch with you as far as I thought I saw something else here that was, they were all from, Carol says that she would love to talk to you about a strange thing that happened to her one. She was in St. Augustine, Florida, to get your opinion on it.
Okay.
You could probably message you, right?
Hmm.
Or
Yeah,
do one of those.
course.
So it's we have to do this more regularly because I'm out of the loop as far as all the boxes and everything that you have. And you know,
If
I
you don't
do,
watch my page every single time I post something, then you're gonna be out of the loop because I don't
well,
stick on one thing for too long.
I do 2 shows a week, and when you get done with those 2 shows, there's not really a whole hell of a lot of time left to
Right.
go ahead and and I'm not trying to make an excuse. I'm
Yeah,
just trying to
right.
say,
Quit lying.
you're making, I do want to go ahead and look into the things that you're going to be doing more.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned to you about 2 years ago, I think it was that first time I was ready to go, and then I had to pull the pin.
Oh, on a device. Yeah.
No, on going to do those experiments
Oh,
because you were in
that's
Ohio.
right. That's right. I forgot about that. You
So
were actually going to be part of it. I forgot. Yeah.
So that's how long ago that's been. So I'm sort
We
of
still have
chomping.
open spots, man. We got open spots at the Shan. We got one open spot left at the Shanley, and we got. We haven't even necessarily opened up spots, but we're taking participant applications, I guess, for the Western Block in September.
And the Western Block is where?
Niagara Falls.
Niagara
on
Falls.
the U.S. side. U.S. side.
So it's still way up there.
Niagara Falls is right next to Buffalo.
Oh.
It's actually closer to. It's only 6 hours. It's 6 hours from my house in Bryan, and if you're a little north of Chicago, you said.
Yeah, I believe
right on the border.
Border.
You're probably about 5 hours from me. So it would probably be close to 11 hours, 10 hours if you took the turnpike and you just booked it. But yeah, it's Niagara Falls though. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
That's also where the old Adams Transformer House. It's actually what it was called, as well as there's a bunch of shit there. It's Niagara Falls.
You can always go ahead and take a ride in a barrel, can't you?
I think they frown upon that now. But I mean, you can give it a shot.
No, I don't. I have no intention. But
I mean, shoot. I mean, if you end up making it to like 95 or something, then why not? Right? Like if I hit 95, then maybe. What else have I done? I got nothing else going.
No, hey, guess what I did yesterday? I shot the falls.
Yep.
Went for a ride. But I want to thank you very much for being here, and it's awesome that you came on, and I wish Jay, and if you could work him some way, and I don't care what time it is, it'll be on a Friday, but if he has to be a little earlier, I'm going to have to make a few adjustments for a few other people.
That's the one thing. Earlier.
Well, mention that to him and see what he says.
He's always willing to do it. If you're willing to move it to like before 8 p.m. Eastern time, then he's available. But that dude goes to bed at 9 p.m. and he is awake at 4 a.m. So, I mean, it's very hard for podcasts and interviews and stuff. It's not easy.
Oh, we'd have to do 1 in a million, what the heck?
If you want to get him. That's right.
And, as far as everything else is concerned, I'll be in touch with you on that. And if Carol needs to go ahead and get a message to you, she'll message you.
Yeah, for sure.
And Austin, it's been fantastic. We've known each other for quite some time now, and it's always been a pleasure having you on. and you've always
man.
been a wealth of information. The
Yeah,
only
man.
thing I can tell you about today is the fact that this is the first time, one of the first times you've been on, that you haven't been soldering something.
You know what? You got me there. You actually caught me on a time where I'm not soldering. But granted, the only reason is because I had just got back from my parents' house, or I was at my parents' house for the game, right? I came home and I actually did work on, I was working on another box and working on another project, and I shut it down, went and sat with Colleen for a couple hours, and then just came here to do this. So you actually did catch me on one of the very few times that I will do one where I'm not working.
Well, say hello to your lovely wife for me. And,
I sure
not that
will.
I've met her before, but it's a
You will
pleasure.
someday.
And, we will keep in touch.
All right, man.
Okay?
Sounds good. Appreciate you. Thank everybody for
Thank you
watching.
very much. I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. And if you want to hang around for just a couple minutes, I'll just go ahead and shut everybody down, and then we'll end this. Okay, everybody. We'll see you guys later on, I guess Wednesday, on Spirit Connect, and we'll see you later.